Manchester United are going all in on Osimhen, Barcelona are stepping out of the shadows, ready to trigger Bernardo Silva's release clause. Bayer Leverkusen already throwing shade at United over Garnacho, while Liverpool are targeting Xavi Simons. And Chelsea, classic Chelsea, storming in with a suitcase full of cash, 50 million for Dean Huijsen. All that and much more in today's episode. So, as always, 400 likes, and I'll keep pretending I know where everyone's going, and you keep pretending you believe me. Perfect teamwork. Manchester United might just be going all in for the one and only Victor Osimhen. According to the latest reports, the Red Devils have apparently offered the Nigerian striker an absolutely insane contract, £660,000 per week. Let that sink in. Over $500,000 every 7 days. I mean, how many years of making YouTube videos would I need to earn that? If this deal goes through, Osimhen wouldn't just become United's highest paid player of all time, he'd be among the top earners in world football. Sorry, Cristiano, times have changed. But hold your horses. Don't rush to buy a United shirt with Osimhen on the back just yet. Sources close to the club are already chuckling, saying this kind of money is pure fantasy. Sir Jim Ratcliffe himself said publicly, "There's a hole in the budget. We're not splashing that kind of cash." And honestly, as good as Osimhen is, dropping £30 million a year on one guy feels more like a FIFA career mode move on beginner difficulty. That said, Osimhen is the real deal. In Nigeria, he's called the best striker in the world. In Turkey, they treat him like a hero. Wherever he plays, goals, fire, energy. But is he worth breaking United's wage structure? That's how you start locker room tension. You can already picture Bruno Fernandes eyeing that contract and thinking, wait a minute, I'm no slouch either. So, is the move actually realistic? Well, maybe, if United manages to offload some dead weight. Let's be honest, there's plenty of it. A few underperforming names out the door, maybe even cashing in big on someone like Garnacho or Højlund. Suddenly, Osimhen's £62 million price tag doesn't look so crazy. And hey, Arsenal's lurking too. They've got their eyes on him as well. But let's be real. The Gunners have a longer queue of striker targets than their injury list last season. United, on the other hand, genuinely want to make Osimhen their main man up front. If they're bold enough to reshuffle the attack and clear some space, this deal could happen. Now we just have to sit back and watch the drama unfold. But if you're already dying to see how this story ends, make sure to smash that like button. One click and YouTube won't bench this video like it's a fringe player. But seriously, what do you think? Should United really go all in on Osimhen? Or should they maybe look for someone a bit more affordable next door? We've seen it too many times before. Throw a pile of cash at a big name and end up with nothing. Just ask Xerxes. Drop your picks in the comments. Who would you sign instead of Osimhen? How many times have we heard Bernardo Silva is about to leave City? I'm honestly getting tired of these rumors myself. But it really feels like this time, it might actually be for real. This summer, City are reportedly planning a major squad overhaul, and the Portuguese star is said to be one of the top names on the potential exit list. Wouldn't be surprising if Pep starts selling players in bulk, like 3 for the price of 2 supermarket deals. Now Bernardo just turned 30, and judging by the latest reports, he's finally ready for a new challenge. And guess who's back on the radar again? Yep, Barcelona. How many years have the Catalans been chasing this man already? But now, it's apparently closer than ever. So close, in fact, that Silva's contract reportedly includes a special release clause just for Barca. That's what I call love at first sight, legally binding addition. So yeah, Bernardo's got a Barca-only clause in his deal. And you, do you have a subscribe to this channel clause in your day? If you've watched more than one video here, then hey, time to activate it. And the price, in today's crazy market, just £50 million. Payable in 3 installments. Looks like Barca finally took a crash course in YouTube finance tutorials and figured out how to not take out a loan for every transfer. Of course, you can't have a proper transfer saga without Jorge Mendes. Silva's super agent seems to have practically moved into Barca's offices by now. And let's be real, if Mendes is involved, it usually means the deal is 90% done. Sure, some generous folks from Saudi Arabia have reportedly offered Bernardo a ludicrous salary with a few too many zeros, but it seems like he's not ready to trade Champions League nights for unlimited shopping sprees in Dubai. What's also super interesting is that Barca has slightly changed their transfer strategy. Instead of chasing young, explosive wingers like Nico Williams, they're now going after a more traditional playmaker. a classic number 10. Seems like they finally realized running down the wings is fun and all, but sometimes you need someone who can actually control the game. And here, Bernardo fits like a glove. Yeah, there were some whispers about a return to Benfica, home sweet home for Silva. But let's be honest, Lisbon simply can't match his financial expectations. Even Bernardo himself admitted it. Sure, I'll go back someday. Just give it another 2 to 3 years. Fair enough, everything in its own time. But back to Barca. According to reports in Spain, the club knows Silva is ready to lower his wage demands just to wear the famous Blaugrana shirt. Now that, folks, is what we call a lifelong dream. So here's the big question. Can Barcelona really afford to miss out on a player who's tailor-made for Flick's style of football? Then again, if they mess this up, those Saudi clubs are already rolling out the red carpet, woven from dollars and euros. But what about you guys? Do you think Bernardo will finally make the right move and join Barcelona? Or is this just another chapter in the never-ending transfer soap opera? Well, looks like Manchester United is gearing up for another dream clearance sale. You know, the kind where instead of offloading old shirts, they're letting go of their brightest talents. The latest potential departure? Alejandro Garnacho. Yep, the very kid who's either the new Ronaldo or just another young Argentine lad trying, and so far failing, to conquer Old Trafford. Now, Atletico Madrid is back in for Garnacho. Makes sense at first glance, right? Argentine, Madrid, it has a nice ring to it. But seriously, Atletico, didn't you already burn yourselves with that Portuguese magician? And now you're after an Argentine dreamer with a British residence permit. Good luck with that one, lads. But the Madrid side shouldn't relax just yet, because suddenly Garnacho is in hot demand across Europe. Right this moment, Bayer Leverkusen is whispering to his agents, painting beautiful Bundesliga futures. Why not? He's young, quick, exactly the kind of player Germany loves. Surely better than warming United's bench, wouldn't you agree? By the way, if subscriptions could be bought, Chelsea would have already snapped them all up. But lucky for you, subscribing is free. So what are you waiting for? Buttons right below. You're not Todd Bowley, no need to overspend. Speaking of Chelsea, our favorite club that's buying young talent faster than we collect likes, Garnacho fits their strategy perfectly. Young enough, expensive enough, and money at Stamford Bridge hasn't run dry yet, though some folks are starting to glance suspiciously at the club's bank balance. Just one tiny detail, the Argentine's wages. Can Todd Bowley convince himself it's justified to pay Garnacho more than he spends on grooming his dog? Of course, United will play hardball, demanding at least £70 million for their homegrown talent. No surprise here, selling youngsters at inflated prices might be the only thing United does flawlessly lately. But will any club bite at that price? Or will we see another saga filled with bizarre bonuses? Like, score 100 goals and master frying an egg with one hand for an extra £10 million. Honestly, it puzzles me why United so easily parts with players just starting to show promise. Sure, Garnacho is inconsistent and rarely shines bright, but do the Red Devils really have loads of talents ready to step up? Or will they again have to dive into the transfer market, grabbing whoever's available? Makes you wonder, if you're a United fan, are you feeling anxious or outright panic? Or is it time to accept the annual roller coaster ride at Old Trafford and just grab some popcorn? What do you guys think? Should United let Garnacho go? Can he really thrive at a top club? Or will he end up warming the bench at some mid-table La Liga side in a couple of years? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Looks like Arsenal just walked straight into the classic "you text her, but she chooses someone else" scenario. And the heartbreaker this time? Martin Zubimendi. The Spanish midfielder has apparently fallen for another suitor. Yep, you guessed it, Real Madrid. Shocking, right? Not long ago, it looked like Arsenal had it all wrapped up. Rumour had it they were practically popping champagne in the boardroom, convinced the Spaniard would be landing at the Emirates this summer. David Ornstein, the king of reliable transfer news, even claimed that Arsenal had already rolled out the red carpet and fitted Zubimendi for a Gunners shirt. But nope. Turns out, Martin prefers white over red. According to journalist Santi Auna, Zubimendi made it clear that joining Real Madrid is his top priority. And to be fair, once Los Blancos sat him down and mapped out their grand plan with him at the heart of midfield, the guy didn't stand a chance. Who would, honestly? If Real Madrid tells you they see you as their future midfield general, you don't say no. What's wild is how quietly Real handled the whole thing. Even eagle-eyed insiders like Ornstein were caught off guard. That's how slick this move was. Meanwhile, over in North London, Arsenal were still acting like everything was a done deal. Well, that deal just collapsed on top of them like a house of cards. Let's be real. Are you even surprised Zubimendi wants to join Madrid? Sure, Arteta is building something special, but come on. This is Real Madrid. It's like choosing between front row seats at a global superstar's concert or watching a local cover band in a pub. No offense, Arsenal fans, but you get the picture. That said, I wouldn't count Arsenal out just yet. Who knows, maybe Arteta's still got an ace up his sleeve. Maybe the Gunners will throw something on the table that'll actually make Florentino Perez squirm a little in his presidential chair. Because let's not forget, transfer windows are chaotic. Logic often takes a back seat, while drama and twists run the show. But what do you think? Can Arsenal still hijack this deal at the last minute? Or is this a battle already lost? Maybe Madrid's just stacking talent for the bench again, and one day, Zubimendi will be sitting there wondering what might have happened if he'd chosen London instead. Drop your thoughts in the comments. This one's going to be a spicy debate. Xavi Simons. Now that's a name everyone's talking about right now. And guess what? Liverpool have entered the chat. Listen up. This one's coming from insiders like Duncan Castles, who, let's be honest, usually knows a thing or two. So, here's the deal. Xavi Simons, just 22 years old, is absolutely tearing up the Bundesliga for the second season in a row. The numbers? Insane. 17 goals, 18 assists. At 22 exclamation mark. This kid isn't just a promising talent anymore, he's performing at an elite level right now. And here comes the juicy bit. Liverpool have officially, and as Castles puts it, made an inquiry. This isn't just scouts lurking in the bushes. The club is actually asking questions about a transfer. And apparently, stylistically, Simons fits the Reds like a glove. Fast, technical, creative, he's the kind of player Liverpool fans love to watch. But, of course, there's a big but. Because when is there ever not? Guess who's back in the race? Yep, Manchester United. They've been circling Simons forever, constantly getting linked with him. And Castles even threw a bit of shade, saying Liverpool are a top club in terms of budget, whereas United, well, maybe not so top when it comes to performances on the pitch. And it's not just those two in the mix. Rumours say Manchester City and Bayern Munich have also joined the race. That's right, we're talking about a full-on titan clash over one of the most exciting young talents in world football. Now, let's talk money, because this ain't coming cheap. The current asking price is reportedly around £60 million. Not small change, obviously, but considering the potential, could be worth it. What makes Simons even more valuable is his versatility. He can play on the left wing as a number 10 or even slightly deeper. But here's where I start scratching my head. On the left, Liverpool already have Luis Diaz. Gakpo can play there. Jota too. And in the middle, you've got McAllister, Szoboszlai, even Curtis Jones getting minutes. So, where exactly would Simons fit in? Is Arne Slot planning a new system? Is someone getting sold? Or is this just a "we'll figure it out later, he's too good to pass up" kind of signing? Because let's be honest, £60 million for a position that's not exactly a weak spot, bit odd. But on the flip side, this much talent, maybe it is worth tweaking the system just to make space for him. What do you think? Can Liverpool actually pull this off? Or will United, City or Bayern swoop in and snatch him up? And more importantly, is he worth £60 million right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This one's going to spark a lot of debate. Dean Huijsen is done waiting, and by the looks of it, he's ready to take the next big step. According to sources close to the player, he's delivered an ultimatum. If Real Madrid don't make a move soon, he's off to a club that actually wants him. And let me tell you, plenty of clubs do. Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United, Tottenham. Basically every Premier League heavyweight is already warming up in the transfer race. And we're not talking casual interest here. These clubs are reportedly prepared to drop £50 million, the amount it would take to trigger his release clause at Bournemouth. Now, in today's market, £50 million for a young, battle-tested centre-back, that's not outrageous at all. Here's the twist. Huijsen actually came through Real Madrid's academy. So, in theory, a return home to the Bernabeu sounds like a dream storyline, right? But Florentino Perez seemed to have other priorities right now. Word is, they're not entirely convinced it's worth spending that kind of money on a player who's only just started breaking through. And to be fair, even for Real, £50 million isn't pocket change. Meanwhile, things in England are heating up fast. Chelsea have already made contact with Huijsen representatives. Liverpool are closely monitoring the situation, possibly eyeing him as a long-term heir to Virgil van Dijk. And United? Well, come on. When do they not get involved the moment someone with even a hint of potential hits the market? Classic Old Trafford move, right? Oh, and Bayern Munich. Yeah, they're interested too. Their backline's been shaky and Huijsen ticks a lot of boxes, but money's tight in Munich these days, so they might struggle to match offers. PSG's also in the mix, and sure, £50 million for them is like buying a morning coffee. But even with all their cash, convincing a rising star to pick League One over the Premier League is a tough sell. Let's face it, the hype, the competition, the atmosphere in England, on a different level. To be fair, Huijsen has shown nothing but respect for Bournemouth. He knows the club gave him a shot and regular minutes, but let's be honest, he's clearly outgrown the level. Now he's standing at a crossroads and the decision's coming next month. It's not just about moving, it's about moving up. So here's the real question. Who's going to pull the trigger first? Chelsea? Liverpool? United? Or will Madrid wake up at the last minute and bring their academy boy back home? Drop your predictions in the comments. This one's going to be a wild one. Liverpool are definitely cooking something up on the transfer market, and they've got their eyes on two serious targets. First up, Alexander Isak from Newcastle. He's the big one, the main goal. The guy is absolutely on fire this season, 21 goals in the Premier League alone. But here's the catch. Newcastle looks set to qualify for the Champions League, and if that happens, well, good luck trying to negotiate. The price tag? £100 million would be the starting point. And that's probably way out of Liverpool's comfort zone. Which brings us to option B, Ollie Watkins from Aston Villa. Now, Watkins isn't just some backup plan. He's proven, Premier League tested, and consistently delivers. 15 goals, 12 assists this season. Solid numbers. He's a workhorse, the kind of player who thrives in the grind of English football. Arsenal were chasing him back in January, but Villa said no thanks. And now Liverpool are circling. But here comes the juicy part. Lately, Watkins has barely been starting. Just one game in April, where he made the 11th. And now there are whispers, big ones, that Aston Villa are seriously pushing to sign Marcus Rashford permanently. If that move happens, Watkins might find himself on the way out. And Villa, let's be honest, would need to balance the books somehow. Financial fair play and all that. Selling Watkins would clear a chunk of the wage bill and help fund the Rashford deal, which could open the door wide for Liverpool to swoop in and grab a proven striker at a reasonable price. And since we're talking Liverpool, we have to mention Luis Diaz. Rumour has it the Colombian might be leaving Anfield this summer. He's under contract until 2027, but talks about an extension have apparently stalled. Reports suggest Liverpool would consider offers over £60 million. If Diaz really does leave, the club has to bring in someone experienced and someone who scores. Enter Watkins. My take? Isak's a beast, no doubt. But that price tag? Not realistic. Watkins? Yeah, maybe not as flashy, but he's smart, proven and understands the league. The only red flag is his lack of minutes recently. Has he lost his rhythm? Or is he just being frozen out ahead of a summer move? If the price is right and he's still sharp, this could be a very smart pickup, especially if Diaz does move on. But what do you think? Should Liverpool go for Watkins or look elsewhere? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk. Big money talk is back in Manchester, and it looks like we're in for another transfer battle. This time, the spotlight's on Antoine Semenyo from Bournemouth, the same guy who's gone from an unknown rookie to an absolute beast on the wing in just one season. And guess who's the man most obsessed with his talent? That's right, Ruben Amorim. Word is, the Portuguese coach is a huge fan, but, as always, it's not that simple. Bournemouth have been surprisingly good this season. Who would have expected Andoni Iraola's team to be knocking on the door of Europe with such swagger and confidence? And Semenyo is one of the main reasons behind this minor miracle. 10 goals and 4 assists. Sure, those aren't messy numbers, but anyone who's watched Bournemouth play will understand. This guy can rip apart any defense on his day. Here's the catch though. There's already a long line of Premier League giants queuing up for him. Liverpool and Tottenham are very much in the race too. Rumour has it, the price tag is around £70 million. Seriously, Bournemouth? Bought him for a tenner, now you want Mbappe money? But hey, that's life in English football. You want the next big thing? Better bring your checkbook. Semenyo is under contract until 2029, so Bournemouth are under zero pressure to sell and are ready to dig their heels in. Losing him now would be a disaster for them. But for United, this could be a golden opportunity to bounce back from an absolutely dreadful season. Amorim clearly wants to tear things down and start fresh, and it looks like he sees Semenyo as a key pillar for the new era at Old Trafford. But here's my question. Can United really afford that kind of money? We all know things aren't exactly rosy financially at Old Trafford right now. They'll have to sell someone first, and that brings up another question. Who's leaving? Plus, can Semenyo really repeat his success at a club where the pressure is through the roof? It's one thing to shine for Bournemouth, where just making Europe is a party, but it's another story completely when you're facing United fans after a couple of bad games. Honestly, I'd love to see Semenyo in a United shirt. He's aggressive, fearless, rapid, exactly what Amorim's side is missing right now. This transfer could give United's attack the jolt it desperately needs, because let's be real, it's been pretty lifeless lately. But what do you think? Is Semenyo really worth that kind of money? And if he is, who's going to snap him up this summer? United, Liverpool, or maybe even Spurs?